So I can hear it, like, even when I turn my audio all the way down on my receiver, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
And that's your noise floor.
Well, it could also just be interference.
Well, interference usually get more static. Like, it's very, very staticky. Noise floor is just, it's just it's a hum. Actually, it's a slippery slope. I don't know how to describe this properly. Give me a second. I'm not using the right words.
This sounds a little staticky, but it's not like a hum.
Okay.
I don't know.
Boom.
It's whatever.
It's stuff.
It is.
It's a Sunday morning.
It is.
And then, being a Sunday morning, it's finally time for Sharks and Things podcast. A bunch of bull.
Hooray!
Finally. After what,
Yay.
3 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? It's been too long.
It's been an eternity.
Something like that.
Yes.
Being Sunday morning. We finally got this up and running. We're actually running, instead of Skype, we are running VC for our video chat this morning. It's been interesting, to say the least, to get going.
So if
My
Matt
cat
goes into a badly dubbed karate film mode,
You will know why.
That'll be a beautiful thing. I'll make sure I do my dubbing justice.
Do the best impression possible of Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Anyways,
make
thank
sure-
you guys for joining me this Sunday morning. I'm your host, Mitch. And Matt is obviously the one who's ready to go karate on us.
Yeah.
Zach is getting pumped up for capturing some gyms today, it sounds like. And Cody, he's just got the epic beard as always.
And RoboCop.
Damn.
I'm rocking
Represent.
my new Beard's in the Way. I got my new Dark Souls shirt.
Nice.
I
I'm
can't
wearing
get into the
Cloud
chibi thing.
Final Fantasy VII shirt.
Blue shirt, because I'm not cool.
I'm blue. Dabba dee dabba die.
That's actually
WWW.
if you've not gone back and listened to that album by them, that is actually a really good CD. Like,
Yeah, you check. It's Eiffel 65 Europop. Check it out.
it's got a song called PlayStation on it.
Oh yeah, because they did the launch track because they had, what was it, for Gran Turismo promo? One of them, but they actually used it in like a Sony commercial way back when.
We're gonna
I don't
play
think
the
I've-
game, the PlayStation
I
all
don't think
day.
I've listened to any song on that album other than Blue.
The Metal Gear
Or
Solid,
move your
Tekken 3.
body, which is even catchier.
Yeah, it's all real good. Like, seriously, if you're into some like
Some
some
Europop.
Europop type stuff, check that thing out.
Should maybe check that out. I only say that because what's it? Dirty Loops, Swedish pop. It's good stuff. Check that out. They do a cover of a Britney Spears song that I can't remember the name of right now, and it's way better.
Toxic.
No, actually, I heard it first from Dirty Loops, and I thought it was like their song because it doesn't say it's a cover until I finally heard it from Britney Spears.
Dirty Loops, Britney Spears. Circus.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Surprise.
Yep.
No. Surprise cat is waiting to make its attack. I don't
Yep.
trust this.
I have a cat that's sleeping at my feet right now.
See, yours stays at your feet. Mine attacks you with a fury.
No, she does not stay at my feet. She's just doing that right now because she's sleepy.
Ugh.
Huh.
She will totally like rip me apart.
Okay, I'm gonna solve this problem. Please introduce topics.
Well, with that, I guess we have to introduce topics. So, how many Pokemon have you guys caught now?
Can you hand me my phone, dear?
Because
I can tell you.
I keep transferring them away, and now it's not loading at all.
I
The
hate
servers is probably jacked again.
That's
Your
Sounds
time.
like a Pokemon
Like-
Go thing.
No, that was actually
This-
people giving me money for rent. What?
That's also very important. 9 days a bit late.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, so this is a very familiar screen for me. because
If I have to,
what it
if I have
does
to
most
punch
of
in my Google login one more time, I'm gonna fucking punch somebody. That's what made me stop wanting playing this. Because like everybody at the office started playing it.
It's a problem.
Oh, it was a huge problem. There was people just like wandering up and down cubicles. Like there was random people wandering around campus, just like looking, or like going to random monuments. It's like, what has this done to civilization?
I need to pause this real quick. There's a Venonet near me. Hang on. I gotta take care of this.
Well, I captured 3 of those in my office.
Just hang on.
Are you gonna get it?
I gotta get my curveball on here. Oh, damn it. So here's my problem. Here's one of the problems. Like, it never seems like, even if I use the same type of pressure to throw the ball, it never seems like it goes the same distance every time.
To answer your question, I've caught 219.
Jiminy Christmas!
Zach, how far have you walked in the name of Pokemon Go?
Oh, hang on. This is showing good. I got a Venonet.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Were you one of those people that went out at like 8 at night and didn't come back until 3 a.m.?
Mine's still spinning.
Oh, there's like a coffee shop. Like, my apartment complex is really weird. Like, it's built on top of like a
Coffee shop.
not. I don't want to say
It's got like a strip mall in it.
Yeah, but not like a strip mall. Like it's just shops and stuff.
It doesn't have the strip mall aesthetic.
Right.
It's a strip
Yeah.
mall.
There we go. Yeah. And there's a coffee shop down there with a gym and a Poke Spot right next to it. So like the girlfriend and I, the past few nights, have gone down there at like 11:30 just to like hang out. And there's just people, like crowds of people.
I have caught 65. Team Mystic. Full life.
Oh,
think I've-
fuck you. You can suck it.
Are you not a fan of Team Mystic?
We couldn't be Team Valor.
Team Instinct, bro.
I wanted to be Team Instinct, but
I'm just staying away from this game as of right now. It's not safe. It's like worse than texting. Like the only thing worse than like watching people like text and not pay attention to you is watching people trying to do this in Pokemon Go and still not pay attention to you.
which is why I turned
Turn off AR mode.
I turned
You
the
turn
AR
off AR and then you just keep it on your leg and you just kind of like blindly swipe at things.
But the people in my office are not cool like that. Everyone was using it for
Matt,
AR.
you should teach them. Teach them the art of Pokemon without insulting and being rude to everyone.
3DS, play Pokemon.
So honestly, there's been quite a lot of pictures online, Reddit specifically, of like some really
Imager.
awesome like
Imager.
impromptu meetups happening just due to Pokemon Go. Like,
Oh, you
You-
mean like the one in Sydney that had like 200 something people?
Yep. Like, well, there was a picture the other day of like 4 cop cruisers pulled over on the side of the road, right by a Pokestop that had a lure active.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
there was also the 40-year-old gentleman who shared his story of late at night going for a walk, stopping down at a park where a couple of dudes looking shady on a bench were hanging out, and they're like, "Hey, dude, you here to catch some Pokemon? Just check on the other side of that truck. There's an Onix over there. I just caught him." Like, what?
Yeah, it's
Or like I was telling you guys earlier, when I was at the airport this morning, the fucking security guard on the walkway.
So this is what Niantic kind of wanted for Ingress. Like when Ingress first rolled out, this is exactly what I'm guessing they had in mind. Because seriously, the number of people that I've just randomly run into that are playing Pokemon Go, or just all my friends that are like, just, oh, I've caught such and such, or I've got this layout, or I've seen so many screenshots of people like, I just caught X, or this gym I just took over, or look at the White House or Pentagon, for instance. It's
I got a
Kind of
Ponyta sitting at my desk and it was pretty cool. My big guy right now is I have a 448 CP Flareon.
I have a
He's pretty dope.
and
Yeah.
so the best thing that I feel about this at least is that when people go off and like, I've got this awesome Pokemon at such and such combat power or whatever, it's like it doesn't feel like people are just bragging.
Yeah, it's like
It's
a
it's
legitimately
shared.
awesome
It's like
thing.
mutual excitement. It's like,
oh
holy
man,
crap,
that's
you
so
caught that!
good.
Where'd you catch that? Because then it's like maybe I can go there and catch that too.
But Pokemon battles.
So that's okay. So if we're gonna be really honest about this whole thing, my biggest complaint right now is I wish there was some type of like multiplayer component. Like, they said they're gonna be looking into that now that the game is out.
I think they need to wait and get their servers.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, yeah.
Did
might
you
help.
see? I can't remember if it was the CEO or the CTO of Amazon. Sent a tweet at Niantic, like with a screenshot of the like, like the servers are having difficulties right now or whatever, and he's like, "Yo, whatever you guys need."
The caption should have been, "This is why you should choose Amazon Web Services."
They talked about like they'll be doing some stuff with that going forward, and hopefully that means that hey, we get like anonymous Pokemon battles. Like ideally, so if you were going to pitch this to young Cody, I would have actually wanted actual Pokemon battles for this thing.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would have wanted like the Pokemon games just massively multiplayer. Literally, that's it.
Yeah.
Like I walk around with my phone as my avatar, like, oh, random trainer nearby. Do you want to battle? Tap. Select your Pokemon. Tap. They battle automatically. And then,
Would've
oh
been
look,
nice.
I won or I lost. Do I need to use a revive candy? Do I need to just heal them? What did I lose? What did they gain? What did I gain? What did they lose? Something like that.
Yeah, just like something a little more in depth would have been nice.
Other than, the catch 'em all simulator.
Well, that's fine because I
Aw,
mean they
shit.
still have gyms where you can go and you can train up your Pokemon if it's your team gym, or if it's an enemy team gym, then you can go and battle them and try to take over the gym. So I mean, there still is battles. It's just not the random battles that we would see in the Pokemon games.
Speaking of collecting them all, I've amassed more of a collection since last time we discussed. Both of
Since,
Gundam.
what, 5 minutes ago?
No. So last time we met as a group, I got some more Gundams. That's whatever. I found some pop figs.
Oh no.
I found the Doctor Strange pop fig.
That's baller.
And then I also found the Civil War Spider-Man pop fig with a little shield and a bobblehead. And then I also found that he came in a pack of 2 because he came with a Hawkeye.
I just fucking caught a Tangela. I forgot those things even existed.
That's about to be my point. It's like, what the hell's a? The thing looks like a ball of spaghetti, right?
Yeah. It's the
Ah.
spaghetti monster.
Yeah. So I increased my pop fig collection and my Gundam collection. Since the last time we discussed.
Cody's got to collect all the models.
That I don't want to. There's a lot of them.
We
And-
discussed. There's only 12 of them, right?
No,
You
that's-
just need to get to those 12.
There are 12 perfect grades. There are 200 Universal Century high grades. There are 48 Build Fighters kits. There are 12 SDEX kits. There are 400 SD kits. Yeah, I
You
don't,
just need to get to 12 perfect grades, and I'll consider it a collection complete.
I'm not even sure. 12 was kind of a guesstimate. Perfect. There's not that many because they're
There could
really
be more.
expensive. Weirdly enough, the first perfect grade kit was not a Gundam. The first perfect grade kit was an NGE kit.
Nerd.
Shut it.
I mean, it's close to Gundam, anyways. And GE.
So the first perfect grade kit was NGE's Unit 01,
Mhm.
followed by the perfect grade RX-78-2, which is the original Gundam from Gundam. And then there's a Zaku, there's Char Zaku, the Zeta Gundam, the Endless Waltz Wing Zero Custom, the Gundam Mark II AUG, the Gundam Mark II Titan, a Gulf Custom. I didn't know they made that in a perfect grade. The RX-78 Gundam GPO-1 FB. There's the Strike Gundam, the Strike Backpack,
and
the Strike Rouge, the Rick Dom. There's a bunch. I think in the main perfect grade series, there's only like 10 or 12. The local Gundam shop, or the place I buy my Gundam kits near me, has 4 in stock right now. 2.
They're just fueling your addiction right now.
Yeah, they have 2 unicorns and 2 Banshee unicorns. Which, if you don't know Gundam, this is all a bunch of gobbledygook, and I'm sorry, but
That's why this is a bunch of bull. Nobody understands half what we're talking about, and that's the point.
It's right. It's very similar to when you guys start talking like fighting terms.
When I suppose when we go fighting game mode, the world ends and everyone stops paying attention.
a little bit.
Just
If you want,
decision.
yeah.
Well, if you wanted to transition, you can do. Well, speaking of fighting games, Street
Well,
Fighter
Matt,
V.
do you have anything to talk about Street Fighter V? Do you like the June update? I suppose, even though it came out in July.
Well, yeah, technically. So they launched the June update, so it added the story mode. It added Balrog as a playable character as well as Ibuki. So Ibuki was Third Strike as well as Ultra Street Fighter 4. New character is pretty good. Ibuki's a little bit more technical. Balrog hits like a fucking tank, but his defense is ass. And then the story mode was really bad.
So I haven't played the story mode yet. I watched the first, almost the first chapter of that thing.
Okay, it's almost like trying to do the Mortal Kombat cinematic effect, remember not MKX but like MK9, where if they had like the intro like in their stage, but everything is just super cheesy. Like animations are kind of fucked up. The load times are ridiculous. Like I can't even sum up what the fuck the story is because I actually skipped every cutscene after the first 3 because they were so bad. Zach, give me some insight. What is the story?
It was
important.
It was it was cheesy, but at the same time, it was kind of like, I don't know. It was expected.
Is it cheesy in the way that all the Street Fighter animes and stuff are?
No, I think the animes were actually pretty good as far as Street Fighter is concerned.
I guess the ultimate question I have is, do we find out what happens to M. Bison?
I don't know. I skipped through after the first 3, so Zach, you tell me.
Because
he's dead, Jim.
Well, yeah, because we know in Alpha 3 is or is it Street Fighter 3 or Alpha 3 is the latest, and is chronology.
Third Strike is the latest.
And he's dead in Third Strike.
Well, it's not really said if he's dead in Third Strike. He's just not there.
Well, no,
he's supposed to Urien and Gil are supposed to supersede and become kind of the new dictators of the world.
Somebody. No, it is explicitly said in one of the Street Fighters that he is dead. Because this is
he's supposed to be dead in Third Strike. Whether or not he is actually dead.
Okay. Because 5 is supposed to bridge the gap between 4 and 3.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I follow some of this stuff. Really, I do.
But yeah, the whole thing with the story mode is outside of just the cinematic experience of watching some of these really bad cutscenes. Like the infamous where Cammy pulls a wrapped paper brown bag out of her ass, even though she's not holding anything clearly in the previous shot, and just suddenly has it, and gives it to Chun-Li. That was hysterical.
Chun-Li, don't grab that. You don't know where that's been.
It's like, your father wanted you to have this. It's just this large brown bag that the only place she could have conceivably stored it is in her ass.
She's got.
I want to refer to Wild Wild West here. It's what, you got a spring-loaded contraption that's gonna pop out of your ass? Exactly
she had
that.
pouches.
Yeah, where? It is like skin tight. Like it is barely enough to cover.
She's got
any
like a
lady
belt
parts.
thing with pouches, doesn't she?
She's got pouches on her legs, yo.
Yeah, she's got leg pouches. It was probably in a pouch.
Yeah.
Yes,
she's
it was assembled in 4 different pieces in wrapped form across 4 different pouches.
she's got
Exactly.
she's got holsters and shit, bruh.
Okay, but besides that, like the fight implementations, like the fights were all like they're a little buggy. Like I always got a crazy slowdown every time I went into a fight for like the first 5 seconds. Then it was fine, but except for like the last maybe 3 fights of that entire thing, they're all extraordinarily easy. Like just single button, you can win this mode.
I'm assuming a lot of that is for people who aren't super into or super.
It's for people like you, Cody, who want to play the fighting game for the story, but do not want to do the competitive mode.
I can figure out the stuff. I have no problem with that.
Well, I mean like actively challenging. So it's not just like walk up or spam the same special move. It's like taking 2 seconds. If he jumps, you have to stop him. If you jump in, he's going to knock you out. Just like really, really basic tactics. Like they don't do anything advanced until the last 3 fights of story mode.
Yeah.
But all in all, that was very disappointing. Definitely not worth the few month wait. But as far as characters go, Balrog is so he does hit like a tank. If you look at any of the videos online on YouTube, like his turnaround punch where you like hold down 2 buttons and charges it, like if you get the full 15-second version, which I don't know who can do that in a match, it takes off damn near like what is it, half health, and you can combo after it too.
I legitimately haven't even like touched Balrog or Ibuki other than the brief.
So, do you guys have the season pass?
I do not.
I do. Which I'm kind of
'Cause-
regretting because it only gets you characters. It gets you nothing else.
Yeah. So you have to buy the levels,
Which there's now variations of as well.
and the levels are like what,
They're-
$4? Everything's like $4, right?
Yeah, their microtransactions are stupid expensive. Like Street Fighter 4, you could pay $20 and you get the full character premium pack of whatever. You get all their colors, and what? This one is $4 per fucking costume. Like that is ridiculous money.
Like I'm torn because like part of me wants to play Experiment. Like Ibuki looks interesting, but after the brief period of time I got with Jury and finally seeing how she's going to play, I'm probably just gonna continue with Revelator until Jury.
I had that feeling about Yuri, and like I picked him, so I picked him up. I'm like, yeah, that's my character. So I'm just sticking with Bison just for something to play for right now, but definitely switching to Urian because I just downloaded the mod so I could test him out. Oh, so much more fun. Urian was another of the Third Strike characters, the guy in the man thong.
Man,
Okay.
thong.
So fun. His combos are ridiculous.
Some of those mods, the character replacements, are a bit ridiculous too. Like the one that replaces everyone with skeletons.
Spooky scary.
Spoopy, scary skeletons. Shouldn't send shivers down your spine.
It's been
Yes.
Well, that has been your fighting game minute, I suppose.
Yep.
5, 10
Well,
minutes.
because no one's going to pay attention to me if I go any longer.
I think as far as things that are spoopy, so Miyazaki's been talking this week, as he is sometimes wont to do, and they're talking about Demon Souls, which is a great game.
I missed this. Go
Um,
on.
Basically, he came out and said that if there's some misunderstandings about some stuff he said before about remastering the game. Basically, he said it would be totally some other studio could do it. That'd be fine. Like he doesn't want to do it, but some other studio could definitely do it. Just to bring it up to and you know bring it
To
up
do a remaster of
like a
Demon.
remaster of the thing. which is, I mean, which in the Souls community has caused some stirring, because some people are like, well, if they're gonna do a remaster of it, some people would like them to finish the game, because there's some stuff in there that was cut, like that whole sixth world in Demon Souls wasn't there, and some other stuff. But they don't want anyone to do it if it's not going to be Miyazaki, which I get.
But I mean, they could just be like, here's what we were planning on doing with that. Here's rough enemy placements. Here's what we've already put together for this. We cut it because we didn't have time to polish it or something.
But I mean, there's basically some clarifications of some stuff he said earlier after the release of Dark Souls 3, saying that he really wasn't interested in a remaster of Demon Souls, which, I mean, makes sense. I mean, he's very much on the boat of like, I'm done with the Souls stuff now, and I don't want, like, I want to move on, which makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they have spent a ton of time purely on the Soulsborne games, so it's time to kind of move on to something different.
I mean, he's been basically working on Souls games for 7 years now. Probably, and however long it took them to develop Demon Souls, so probably 9 years.
But the question is, what will we have after this to feed our soul sticks?
Well, I mean, there's plenty of Soulsian games, right? I mean, there's...
Yeah. There is the Soulsian co-op roguelike that is coming out on Tuesday, Necropolis.
Yeah, there's that Pixel one, dark something.
The Lords of the Fallen guys are making a new game too.
Yeah.
It's going to be Souls-like. It's going to be a sci-fi Souls-like game.
Yeah.
Which
it sounds
piqued my interest for sure.
Dope. I want to say it's like a Reaper. Soulsian games. Deep down, looks really cool.
So the fact that we've essentially gotten this Soulsian genre, like from what From has done, I mean that I can see we're gonna get the genre is only gonna expand. We're just gonna get more games like it, and it's okay for From to just kind of like let it go at this point and let other people just throw their ideas on how to make a Soulsian game with other themes or how to expand upon what is Soulsian.
I'm excited to see what other people will like take away, like when other game developers look at Dark Souls and say, what is it from this game that makes it Dark Souls to me? And see what they do with it. Like I-Tier looks really interesting. It's a like Celtic based game, and it's all like third person isometric style game. But it's like Souls like combat type stuff. It's interesting. Death's Gambit was the one I was thinking about. That is
Death's
supposed to be
Gambit.
like Dark Souls and Castlevania mixed together.
I thought Castlevania is already hard as dick anyways.
Not really.
I don't know. Have you seen Summer Games Done Quick? Like seriously, like Castlevania in there. It's like, wow, this game's super easy. I don't know what.
There was the Blindfolded Symphony of the Night.
Blindfolded Symphony of the Night in an hour.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that guy. Fuck everything. Just fuck it.
He didn't even use like any weird like glitches that skip parts of the game.
No, because like, what was the really ridiculous one? I think a bunch of like news sites highlighted it. It was like he jumped on like a timed cloud. Like he just knew the cycle of the cloud so well, like in order to just jump off of it. Like
So to be fair, he screwed up the first time. They highlighted the second attempt, which he nailed. And what it is that he jumps, then he does like this teleport maneuver, in which he can then do like this down attack where he smashes into this book that's floating through the air that 1 out of like 5 attempts could be in the spot he's expecting it. And then he's waiting to hear the sound of him hitting the book so that he can do another jump off the book to the right platform.
Yes, but the fact that he did that on his second attempt blindfolded is just stupid.
Oh yeah, like watching most of the stuff that he did, like he's doing this blindfolded. Like the menu management was the most impressive part of me. It's like he knows everywhere in the menus, like where everything is. Like he has to do like inventory management to make sure that items he picks up are in their expected locations. So he has to go through and like organize his menus like every single time he picks something up, just to make sure the next time he picks like up projected item up that he'll know it's there in that spot. The memorization is ridiculous. Like that's
So we have a
skills.
fellow friend, an honorary shark, Ron, who's been on. He hasn't been on anything with us yet. There's some stuff planned with him. And he gets really into Summer's game and all the games done quick stuff. And him and I were talking. Like this one didn't seem like it just seems weird. Like last year there was like a big like hubbub around games done quick. It seems like at least.
I think there might have been more coverage, like more outlets covering Summer Games Done Quick last year.
My complaining isn't like I liked watching what I did watch. Or I watched some stuff on Sunday and I watched some stuff on Monday. The days I had off, and I kind of caught some glimpses of stuff during the week. But like looking their schedule over, like I wish they would have whoever like organizes all that stuff. I kind of wish would do a better job of like lumping games together, because like there was a whole set of Star Wars games, and so it was like KOTOR 1, which was done in like an hour and a half, which I didn't even know was possible to get through Taurus in an hour and a half. Turns out there's a lot of cutscene skipping, and apparently there's a way to just like trick the game into thinking that you have way more skill points available to you than you do. So like
Oh yeah, I need to know that one. I need to look that one up.
Basically,
like KOTOR.
He made the game think that he was level like 88 or 87. And then it gave him all these skill points to then boost so he could get like all the unlocking skills, so he could basically skip all the impossible doors. And then when it exits out of there, you keep your skill points, but then none of the level up stuff stays. So like
you're like level 4 with all the skill points.
Yeah, basically. But like the problem with that is like if I recall right, that segment was on like Tuesday at like 2:00 in the morning. Like.
Yeah, their event scheduling was done poorly. I can agree with that. However, I mean they did raise more money this year than last year.
Not by much though.
Well, yeah, it's like 1.3 to 1.2 million, so it's an extra 100,000 ish.
Tuesday morning was Dark Forces, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and Knights of the Old Republic, and that ran from 2:30 in the morning till till like 6:00 in the morning. It's like, why would you put the Star Wars block in that time frame? Like, why not?
We also gotta ask, like, I would hope. I don't know for sure, but I would hope that they would look at like last year, like, oh, Star Wars was most popular, like at the beginning of it, which was at this time, or we have the most people watching at X time, so we want to throw Star Wars when there's the most people watching. I mean. If they're not doing that and that type of analysis, then they should be.
Yeah, I mean, so like I'm looking at, so if you go like later in the day, you go to later in the afternoon, so like 6:00, the 6:00 block to like 7:00 was Jumper 2, which is a game I've never heard of, Celeste I've never heard of, and Prompt I've never heard of.
Yeah, well, I mean, so this is 24 hours a day for 5 days straight?
7.
7 days straight? 7 days straight. So, I mean, anyone around the world can be tuning into this. So what if, for instance, Europe likes watching Summer Games Done Quick the most? So they would probably like throw, okay, what's our most popular block? Star Wars. Okay, we want to throw that at the busiest time, which just so happens to be 2 a.m. because that's when all the European guys are watching.
I don't know. It's like, I guess it's one of the things since Summer Games Done Quick is done here in the Twin Cities, that it's like, I don't know. I just looked at a lot of like their, also like some stuff was just disjointed. Like on the first day they had like Super Mario Sunshine and then A Link Between Worlds and then Demon Souls, and then like the next day they did like 3 more Zelda games, and then like 2 days later they did some more Zelda games. It's like, why not just have like I would, if they had just put all the Zelda games together, I probably would have sat and watched all the Zelda games back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
I mean, honestly, they could just look at like how TV does their block programming. Like, okay, you have X show, which is this genre. So you want to follow that up with another show that is of the said like similar genre.
Yeah.
They could do like, okay, we've got 10 Zelda games. All right, that we're gonna do, and they're each gonna last like 1 hour, 2 hours max or something. So let's schedule 3 hours for 5 days of Zelda. Essentially, you could do that even like so. Zelda's gonna always happen every single day at 5 p.m. and go till 8 p.m. Even if they did something like that kind of scheduling would be beneficial.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
Or,
it's
like you said, you could do a whole block. Like today is Zelda Day. We're gonna have 12 hours of Zelda straight. Boom.
it's just one of those things. Like when you look at this thing, how do they do better? Because I mean, they did raise more than last year, but not much more. Maybe $100,000 more than they did last year. So
Well, what they need to do is they need to change kind of like game objectives, because they'll do things like, name a characters, the famous, save, kill the animals, which I'm kind of pissed. Why for like the event that raises a ton of money, why do you have a 4-person race for that? Which dictates like, oh, you could just do both. Like, did any of you guys watch the Super Metroid final race?
Oh no, I didn't even see that was a 4-person race.
Okay, yeah. So normally the whole thing with the save, kill the animals is at the very end you can either save or kill them on the way out to the ship.
Yeah.
And every year they'll do it, so you raise X amount of money for one of the parties, and one can save the animals, one can kill them. So if the most amount of money raised is under save the animals, then that person will do it at the end of the run. But for this one, it was really weird because they actually had a 4-person race to the end of who can beat Super Metroid the fastest.
Mhm.
So at that point, doesn't it just make it completely null? Just the supposedly like big event, they just make it.
So I get why, if you're going to do a race, why everyone has to do the same ending, because saving the animals does take longer by like a few seconds. So if you have,
and that's the whole point of the vote, though. But like, why would you have a 4-person race for this? Like, usually, like the Super Metroid I see is almost kind of being like a showcase.
Well, so often when they do their races, that's going to pull in more people because it adds a competitive nature to this, which is nice. And then obviously, if you're going to have a lot of people, then you can raise more money by giving people something to vote for as well. So it just seems like they're just trying to raise the most money possible at one point. Which makes sense to me. It's like, okay, you have to choose what all 4 of these people are going to do.
Yeah, I mean, like,
whether they're going to save it or save the animals or kill them.
Which I get that, but I don't know. It's just one of those things that kind of came up interesting this week. Like, what do you do going forward to make this like not just like this? Oh, 1 year it's a super sensation thing, and the next year it's kind of slowly. Yeah, like it's a great thing. It's cool to see like the playthroughs and see people do things.
Well, like personally, the best ones that they have are where it's just like one single guy, but he's talking while doing the speedrunning, explaining what he's doing. Those are by far the most like interesting ones to watch, because that's like you get that insight of like, oh, that's really fucking cool.
Well, I mean that's what you find interesting.
Yes, and that's why I said
I like the
I
competition.
I like them both. Like, it's really cool when the competitions are going and they actually have someone on the couch explaining all the stuff that they're doing. Like, if you watch the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, that's what they had.
That was a very good example of like kind of best of both worlds.
Yeah, like it was a good race, but also like they had commentators like saying what they were doing. If you want a great example, what Zach or what Matt's talking about is the Dishonored playthrough, which was 35 minutes. He's like 12 minutes of that is actual gameplay, and the other 20 minutes of it is cutscenes. And he's like explaining that, oh hey, there's this like some stuff that happens in this, so we can do X or Y or Z. I don't know. I'll be interested to see what happens with Awesome Games Done Quick in the winter and what happens with summer games. I wouldn't mind going to one of these. Like, I think also probably it would help a little bit if they maybe upped their production values just a smidge.
Yes.
Because right now it feels very much like public access television, which has got some charm. I'm not gonna discount that, but it's one of those things of like, they're not very good at, like, when they cut to the desk and they're doing interviews, like, they're not very good with their mic control. Like, people are sitting there talking and their mics aren't on, and no one's telling them to stop talking. So, like, half the interview you don't get to hear, or you're hearing it through someone else's microphone sitting at the table.
Sounds like Sharks and Things should do a sponsorship where we, come and just do all their audio and video for them.
Yeah.
And he's running.
Let me know how that goes for you.
We don't have to do any commentating or any like that because that's fine. They got that on the lockdown. We just need to like maybe take care of their audio and video for them or something. I don't know.
Well, next year if they come back to Minneapolis, the Sharks will reach out to them and be like, "Yo, we watched last year. We would like to run your sound stuff."
We just want to make sure that it's all taken care of. You guys, like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Mitch is now an expert at this.
Yeah, expert, right? Okay.
I mean, that's
hilariously, I did actually. So I used to do audiovisual for a theater back in Fruitus.
I did.
So I have done this stuff before.
I used to do AV for my church when I was growing up back in the day. So like I ran full mixing boards and did all the stuff, and it was
I did it for a drama club.
See, we have experience with this. Let's sign up for this next year. Somebody send them an email.
Lights and
and then Zach will just come in with luscious hair and swoon them all.
Zach will speedrun all the Resident Evils. You have a year to get on that.
All of them, back to back to back.
All of them.
If you have to choose, just do Resident Evil 2, though. That'd be the best one.
And we're including 4, 5, and 6 into this, by the way.
Don't forget Code Veronica.
Hey, don't diss Code Veronica.
I never dissed it. I said you forgot.
Code Veronica is actually my favorite Resident Evil game.
I played a bunch of Code Veronica on Dreamcast.
I have it on GameCube right now, and I actually started playing it again. That game is really fucking hard.
Yeah.
It is really hard.
Yeah.
What, Code Veronica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those old Resident Evils are fairly hard.
I mean, a lot of that's the tank controls, but
yeah.
Well, I don't mind that control.
They always made the controls so difficult in every single Resident Evil game.
Because they were just like, fuck it.
It's part of their like scare factor. Let's make it so it's more difficult to control your character.
Well, maybe that's why they're going to VR for this next one. All right, how can we fuck with the controls this time around?
You
play Resident Evil. You have no controls and you're going to be nauseated. Welcome Resident Evil. Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Best jump scares ever.
Speaking of Capcom, Resident Evil, and all that shenanigans, since Adam Boyes left PlayStation this week, that's relevant because he used to run the director of production at Capcom USA. It's if you don't know who Adam Boyes is, he was like director of like third-party development at Sony. He's the one that was on stage when they announced the Kickstarter for that game, Shenmue 3.
Ah, yes, okay.
That's Adam Boyes. He's been at Sony for a long time. He decided he wanted to leave this week. He's going to go back into game development. He's worked at Midway with like John Vignacchi and who's the president of Iron Galaxy? David Lang. Those guys. So he's going to go back to making games. He doesn't know what he's going to do yet. It's kind of like a really weird big thing in the. We sometimes on Sharks and Things like to talk about the back end of gaming and the people behind it all. And so excited to see what he goes off and does. Like Adam Boyes seems like a very intelligent person. He's one of the guys who started the let's build the list thing, of like when Sony was like, what games do you want us to try and see if we can get back for you all? He was one of like the initiators in that, and kind of help build those relationships with those with developers and publishers and stuff to maybe get rights and stuff to help them figure out how they could actually do
Shenmue 3.
Shenmue 3 is kind of like the big one.
I honestly feel that like the hardware developers, so it's like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, actually making stronger relationships with the developers and helping with publishing and developing all together just builds a better ecosystem anyways.
Yeah,
So-
I'll be interested to see who. I think they already announced who's taking his spot, and I don't remember who it was. It'll be interesting to kind of see how that stuff continues going. I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine, but you know,
I would equate it to like similar to on PC how NVIDIA and AMD also work with developers to get things to help them out. Like, oh, hey, guess what? You're working with NVIDIA, so here's some NVIDIA tech that you can work in, or hey, here's some AMD tech that you can work in so that our users get a better experience.
So that'll be interesting to kind of see where that goes.
And speaking of the NVIDIA, though, that 1060, just got to briefly note, 1060 with what, 980 performance benchmarks? Is what
So they released a 1060 to compete with AMD's RX 480. Essentially, they're roughly the same specs wise, and the 1060 they announced the Founders Edition price of $250, which is a little more expensive than the RX 480. But they didn't say what the non-Founders Edition price was, if I recall.
It's the Founders
Yeah,
Edition.
they don't want to shoot themselves in the foot for third parties.
I'm assuming the non-Founders Edition is $200. So same price
Founder-
point.
Does the Founders Edition just have the unlocked stuff? Is that what it is?
I don't think they're.
I think it's
unlocked
just
at
a-
all.
it's just like a
the
reference
different
card.
cooling. Yeah, they have improved components and cooling on them essentially.
Yeah, whatever.
The big thing, like if you wanted to look at like for instance the 1080 and 1070s, the Founders Editions with their increased cooling meant that the clock speeds wouldn't reduce due to thermal issues as often as they did on the non-Founders Edition.
I mean, because for
But
the
third
200
parties will fix
for the
that anyway.
$250 though, you could get the AMD 480 with the 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, I was about to say the 8 gig version is 250, and then I think the 1060 is releasing in a 6 gigabyte version. At least that's what I've read. I could be wrong. Mitch, I'll have you fact check me.
Well, I mean, again, we don't. They can say this now, but they can always change it later. Essentially, they're kind of just. If I recall, this is just rumor, anyways, for the 1060.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Okay.
Well, the 1060's already been confirmed. I think they confirmed. I want to say it is 6 gigabytes of memory.
It is, but I don't want to like say it's going to be 6 gigs because I'm pretty sure this is all still just rumor. They like it was released on some screenshots of like some benchmarks or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else other than the initial press release of it. But either way,
Yeah,
$250 for a very good graphics card, not bad.
Yeah.
I'm-
And
yeah, I'm
again, it should be
debating getting
similar
one.
to the RX 480 benchmarks. So they want to make it as your intro VR card.
Okay, here we go. The power of the G. This is directly from the GeForce website. The GPU architecture is Pascal. The frame buffer is 6 gigabytes GDDR5 with 8 gigabit per second memory speeds and a boost clock of 1 times 1.4x relative or 1708 megahertz. That is directly from their site.
Okay, that's still a fairly powerful card.
So
Yeah, and again, they're placing this as their intro to VR. So VR has all like the Vive and the Oculus when they came out with their minimum spec requirements. They all said like essentially a 970 with such and such processor, but they specifically stated like a 970 or equivalent AMD card. So now we're getting this next generation of graphics cards. Their low end. So the 480 and the 1060 essentially are going to be your benchmark, your bar essentially. And it's very good that we're getting this like right away, right after VR launches, because now people who weren't the early adopters who probably already had high-end rigs, but the people who are going to jump in for the second edition of these VRs, well, I want to make a computer that can run this stuff. I literally just have to buy this card, essentially, either one of these two cards in either of these two things, and they're both priced reasonably well. in order to do such a thing. So you don't need a $1,500 computer in order to run this anymore. It's now down to like the $800 range of a computer, which is much more affordable for people, especially since you're already going to be spending $600 to $800 on your VR, which I'm assuming is going to be a standard price point for when they launch, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. Graphics card stuff is neat because
graphics.
yes.
I mean, this all been a long time coming. This new generation, both the AMD, I'm pretty sure the AMD does, and the NVIDIA are using the new memory manufacturing process, where they're using vertical stacks of RAM and stuff, so they can get higher density, essentially.
Yeah.
Vertical NAND.
Similar.
There's not a lot left of news in this week. I think the only other big thing was the Evolve news, right?
Yeah, where it's fucking free to play now after the $47 we all spent on it and never played.
I'm interested to go back. So now there's actually a player count. That's kind of the big part about this.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that going free to play will increase the player base.
Let's see.
Well, it's already like pretty microtransaction heavy anyway, so it's not like they're losing out on that.
I mean, that was one of the reasons why people were pushed away to begin with, other than the obvious balance issues and the matchmaking problems.
And the lack of maps.
So here we go. In June of 2016, the average player count for Evolve was 106 players.
Wow, that's low.
The number of peak players was 234. Weirdly enough, back in December of 2015, is that when this game? No, the game came out in March. There was a peak of like 1,500.
I'm guessing there's a Steam sale.
I'm basically assuming every time there's a Steam sale, there was a bounce, because in September of 2015, there was a bounce to 9,000 people. Wow. Right now there are 46,000 people playing Evolve.
Wow. Okay, that's actually that's significantly higher.
Yeah. So like
100 versus 40,000.
I'm sure that someone at 2K was like, let's do the math on this. What can we gain by going free to play? And like I was going to install it today to check out to see what the free to play stuff actually changes in that game.
And what does it give for people who already bought it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big thing is that with all their microtransactions that they've always had in the game, like their active player count matters a lot there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure running 100 people now who are probably unlikely to pay for any microtransactions because they're already in the ecosystem, they've already been playing, and there's not many people to play with. So why would I want to buy any of these things? To 46,000 people playing, so now you have a ton of people who are like, oh, I actually feel like this is a community that I can play with, so I'm going to pay for these characters and these monsters and these maps. So yeah, this is.
So I'm trying to track down the thing of, hey, when they released this. Oh, damn age gates.
I mean, it's the same reason why MMOs.
You're only 5.
Yep.
This is why MMOs like Star Wars went free to play, because the barrier to entry for people who don't have solid jobs, I should say, like a lot of like teenagers, or like when I was in college, for instance, like I didn't want to pick up a game for $60 often, or even $40 or $30. But if it was free to play, fuck yeah, I'd play it.
So there are new modes. There's the mobile arena, which is now a shared ability that always centers. Oh, hang on. The mobile arena shared ability. All trappers class hunters now equipped with a planet scanner. They've redesigned the UI. They've added some more maps.
I'm really just waiting for you to start reading off. Now touch friendly, playable on iPad.
What they should do is probably not for Evolve, but maybe Evolve 2 if they decide to ever make a sequel. Is they should do like kind of what like Titanfall did, where they did like the mech mode and pilot mode, where in Evolve you can do hunter versus hunter mode and monster versus monster mode,
or all monsters versus monsters only.
Yeah,
that'd be so much better.
Where you literally just have like this giant arena where you have like 4 monsters duking it out.
Well, I think Overwatch could take
level up, and
I think Overwatch could take a note of this, and it's permanently enraged Winston mode, and everybody has to play Enraged Winston.
That
Any
might
play-
be one of their weekly modes. You never know.
Okay,
I'm
so
telling, that'd be amazing.
the new version comes with Founders, and any player who previously owned Evolve on Steam or bought any DLC content, such as skins or characters, will have all paid content carry over into Evolve Stage 2. Not only do you get all your old content, Founders get exclusive badges, skins, and other cosmetic items as we continue to update Evolve Stage 2 in the weeks to come. On launch day, Founders got 3,000 silver keys, all past and future adaptations for previously owned hunters, monsters, dozens of weapon skins, and 4 unique animated Founder badges. And if you owned any hunters, monsters, or skins previously, all those will be carried over into Stage 2. And they're going to work on more stuff for people who bought the game originally. It looks like they have 4 more hunters coming.
So effectively,
that's a
I
lot
get
of
no more monsters out of
keys.
this.
Dude, so the first image, so you use 3,000 silver keys. So I'm guessing it's not going to be 1 key per chest or whatever it is that you open up. Cube, sphere.
No, it's probably going to be like 3 chests. I'm not even kidding. Just like 1,000 keys per chest.
Just imagine that picture. It's like, I want them to animate this. I really want them to animate this. You have to like, there's like 100 keys that just fly at this chest and unlock this thing. Then
Well, I think the appropriate way to go about this is it'd just be an animation of like 100 keys flying together, and then they'd assemble to like one giant large-shaped key dildo.
that giant like diamond key.
I don't know. I'm downloading Evolve as we speak. I will report on this for next week's podcast.
Let us
Yes.
know if it's still worth playing, even if it's free to play.
Because it's going to take like a half an hour to download, and I don't really want. Yeah, that's.
I mean, for what we played of it, I had fun.
It was fun until we stopped playing it for a year.
yeah, like I would really like to. My brain just stopped working there for a second. Yeah, we should give it. Maybe next Sunday we should give it a shot. Except for I won't be here next Sunday. When I get back in 3 weeks, we should give it a shot.
Jesus.
I'm gone on vacation the next 2 weekends. So
I know that, but that's like a hell of a fucking vacation.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a wedding next weekend, and then the weekend after I have a benefit to go to. So I will.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you were talking like 2 or 3 straight weeks of vacation. I'm like, man, throwing down your cards all at once, huh?
No, in 2 weekends I will be gone, back to back, doing vacation stuff. I'm excited. I'm gonna go do things
Summer.
in the outdoors and swim and ski and tube and.
Because I think I'll probably be
Wait,
out.
what?
Because I'll be out for the first couple of weeks in August. Let's see, week of the 3rd. So yeah, here we go. Yep, 1 weekend, and then maybe because I'd be back on the
We can figure that out
13th.
later.
Either
Yeah.
way,
It's whatever.
we may be doing more fun things that are outdoors.
Is there any like super other interesting fun stuff? This is the sucky thing about coming out of E3, right?
There's nothing.
Is it like I'm
Well,
sitting here?
yeah, we had a few things that came from E3, like a couple of like launches and whatnot. And then it's essentially just wait until the next big thing. Wait until the next big thing.
Monster Hunter Generations comes out next Friday.
Yeah, I was debating on buying a 3DS, and then I remembered that I don't.
You can
play-
get the Monster Hunter Generations 3D.
I did.
They come out on the 15th.
I know. I'm ready for mine. I have
Except for the fact
pre-ordered.
that I remember every time I buy a handheld console, I don't care about a month after I own it.
Dude, I've been playing my handhelds like crazy. My 3DS has been getting a ton of use.
I've actually been using my 3DS a lot lately.
My Vita is sitting gathering dust on my.
Fucking Pokemon Go has just made me want to
Want to go play
fucking-
Pokemon?
Well, go buy a 3DS.
Oh, you
play-
mean for something like this?
No, I don't even care. I can get freaking Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue on my 3DS. So
No,
Who
fuck
would
that.
need
I
the
already
other
have.
games?
I already have them on my Shield, man. It's great.
you can stream. Oh no, never mind. Whatever.
Showstopper. Wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't know where to go now.
On that note, we have. I think that's about it for this week.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We try to do this every Sunday morning, around 11 a.m. Central Time. Feel free to check us out. We have a YouTube channel, Sharks and Things, or youtube.com/Sharks and Things. Our website, sharksandthings.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter. Cody loves to tweet out some news, so be sure to follow us on Twitter for sure. Cody, do you want to mention anything about the other?
I'm still looking for people who want to talk about their passions in geekdom, whether it's movies, video games, writing, art, whatever.
Speedrunners, let's bring this full circle.
Speedrunners, I wouldn't mind seeing you, talking to you guys. You can hit us up at contact@sharksandthings.com, and we'll get back to you about setting up time to maybe talk for about an hour. We're trying to fill up some time for our other podcast, insert topic here, which you can also find on our YouTube channel.
Thanks again for everyone who joined us in the Twitch chat. We love hearing from everyone there. And feel free, just shoot us an email, whatever. Throw a comment at us on our Facebook page. We love to hear comments, questions, concerns, insights, any signs of intelligent life. Thanks, guys. That's going to be a wrap.
Have a good one, guys.
See you guys next week.
Later, guys.